Aveline, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building, I can't remember, I think I have 2 more houses for San Sequoia after I'm done with this one. So I have the 50 by 40 in the upper, I can't remember what the map looks like right now. I'm missing the rental definitely and the 50 by 40 in the same area. So, but I'm hoping I can do at least the 50 by 40 this week. So we're one step closer to being done with San Sequoia. I've just kind of been tunnel visioning on trying to rebuild all the lots, all the residential lots at least, because I'm not a community lot person. I'm just not. I'm sorry. I've come to terms with it. I'm just not. That's just how it is. So today we are building on the 40 by 20, which is like the weirdest lot in San Sequoia. I didn't fully know what to do with this until it suddenly hit me that I wanted to build tiny houses on it. So these 2 houses are, I would say they're definitely larger tiny houses, but they're still very small. And they're larger because I wanted to make sure that each of the houses had room for a family. So not necessarily, okay, I mean, families can be many things, but I meant like 2 parents or at least 2 parents and a kid each. So there's total room for 4 adult Sims, but they have to be 2 couples or just be okay with sleeping next to each other in a double bed. Yeah. And then also 2 children. So each house has 2 bedrooms each. Yeah. And my thought process for this was kind of like, I wanted to create 2 houses that not necessarily were super opposites in a way, but like at least color scheme wise, one is very warm and the other one is a little bit more cool toned. Style wise, because the houses are both identical but reverse, like mirrored, I still want to make sure that the interior in the houses still fit with the exterior of the houses. So it's not like we're going like super vintage in this one and then we're going super modern in the other one. I think the other one has like a slight modern bohemish what was that? Modern-ish bohemian like kind of vibe to it. I don't really know how to explain it, but this one definitely has a bit more of a let's add some like grandma items essentially. Like they definitely got some secondhand furniture, but the other house could also have gotten secondhand furniture. I hope you get what I mean though. I don't know, I didn't want to make them completely opposites because exterior wise they are basically identical except from the fact that they're mirrored. Yeah. The floor plans are the same. And I think I've mostly used the same decor for the exterior of the houses, except in different colors. I might have added a little bit on one of the houses that I haven't added on the other one and vice versa, but in general, they just very much look the same. The idea, though, was that the 2 families living, or at least like the parents, do not get along because they have to share a garden, but the 2 children are like best friends. So it was kind of like, because I still want to make sure that this is fully playable, like it's still functional for gameplay. That's very much what I'm focusing on for these houses for San Sequoia. I want to make sure that it's not just for decor purposes or anything. I really want to make sure that you can actually download these houses and play in them. So with an idea like that, you kind of have to like tone it down a little bit. We could have done like a lot of like ruined furniture and like made them really Nemeses, you know, like full on enemies. But I still wanted to make sure that there wasn't like a lot of decor anywhere in the house or in the yard that would kind of ruin the gameplay experience. So like cause rooting issues or just be there like for too much decor, because that's not really usable for gameplay. So we're toning it down a little bit, but there's a couple of things such as I did a thing with the chairs in the yard, which I don't know if you can see that in the thumbnail, but you'll see it once we start decorating the garden. I did a thing with the chairs just because I feel like they can't decide together or come to an agreement on what chairs they're using for the outdoors dining table. So the idea in my head was that they continuously keep moving the other household's chairs over towards their property and then exchange them for their own chair, replace them with their own chairs that sort of fit the color scheme that they're going for in the houses. So this one is like red and yellow. It fits with the exterior of the house, and the other one is very much like gray and blue. But I just wanted to make sure that they were still playable. You could do some very funky things with a build concept like this, where you have two households on the same lot and they just don't get along. But I also want to focus on making sure that it's not all just filled with decor, because it gets a little bit annoying for gameplay. So hopefully you guys are on the same page as me. But I don't know, I still had some fun with it, although I will say it felt very weird trying to figure out where everything was supposed to be in one house and then basically just redoing it in the other house. Like, I went on autopilot a little bit, because it's basically just the same house, just with slightly different furniture. But as soon as I kind of figured out what style I wanted to go for, and also color scheme for the other house, I was basically just on autopilot because I'd already done it in this one. So yeah, this is part of the reason I don't rebuild any of my old houses. I sometimes get asked if I can do that since we got so many new packs and stuff since like 3 years ago, but I don't want to because I've already built that house once. I don't want to do it again, you know what I mean? So this definitely solidifies that for me. I am not made to rebuild houses. I most definitely am not, because no. I still enjoyed building this lot though, I just want to say, but it felt weird, basically just redoing the interior. I suppose I could have done the floor plan a little bit differently, but I feel like the flow of the house with the floor plan that it has just made sense. Otherwise, I would have had to move a couple. I suppose I could have moved the child's bedroom over to where the kitchen is, but it just made sense like this. The other thing would have made sort of sense as well, but then it would have been far away from the bathroom. Not that the houses are big enough for that to be an issue, but now I'm just picking apart my floor plan. So the idea is that the two children go to school together. They get picked up by the same school bus every day, and they sit next to each other on the school bus. They basically just spend so much time together in school, and they get along so well. They don't understand why their parents do not get along at all. Like, they think they're ridiculous, stupid, and they're basically like best friends for life, essentially. That's kind of what I'm imagining it, or imagining them to be like. You're free to make up your own story if you feel like they should not be friends whatsoever. Feel free to. Actually, if you come up with one, let me know down below. I would love to get some input on that. But in my head, they're definitely best friends. So yeah, but that's all I got basically for the story. I hope you like this house though. I will say this month is going to be a little bit, because, okay, it's the first video for me, and this month is going to be very busy for me. So if you guys have any like themes that you'd like to see me build, such as like a specific family, someone with a specific profession, or if there's a specific kind of apartment you want me to build, let me know, because I actually would appreciate any kind of like idea input, because I'm gonna have to like prepare a lot of videos for the first half of June since I'm moving. So this month is basically gonna be me packing up my apartment, which is gonna take a long time because I've lived here for 4 years and I have 600 books. So it's gonna take a long time. And any input I can get from you guys. Also, if there's just like a build that you've been waiting for from me that you want to see me build, let me know, because I'm gonna be working very focused for the entire month, and then for 2 weeks I'm just gonna focus on that. So it's both like if there's just something that you've been missing from me build wise, but also it's a helping hand as well, if you will, so I don't have to come up with themes and households all the time. Maybe inspire me a little bit. That would actually be kind of cool. There was a phase where, didn't I do like, not dream homes necessarily, but I think I did a couple. It's just, it turned out that they were I can't English, it's fine. It turned out that the descriptions were way too specific, and it felt more like I was being ordered like a robot, that I just like it. You know, those AI things, we don't support those, I just want to say, by the way, but where they basically write in everything that this picture needs. I've never done this myself, but this is how I've heard it works. Just want to say, like, I've never done it myself, but the AI pictures, so you basically just like sit down and you write everything you want in this picture, and then the picture shows up with everything that you listed down. It felt like that sometimes, getting like a long description of a house that was just so specific in so many ways. And like, I'm a human, so I want to be able to give some creative input on it as well. I want to have fun with the house. I don't want to like, it has to be this color scheme, this kind of style. Just like inspiration, like career wise, or a family dynamic, or a family combination, you know, like that sort of input is super cool. I love that. Not the like, I want the house to have 3 bedrooms, 2 offices, 3 bathrooms. I get like, how am I gonna fit that in? I don't know. I get a little bit, like my head gets a little bit overwhelmed. So I don't know. I just don't work that way, you know? But everything else is really cool. Or if there's a specific apartment in Samashuno that you haven't seen me do for a long time, let me know as well. I think I'm probably going to do a couple of those career tiny houses because I haven't done any of those for a long time either, and I actually really enjoy doing career tiny houses. So I know that we haven't done all of them. We're missing a fair amount because there's a lot of careers in The Sims, and I can't even remember which ones I've done, so I'm probably going to redo some of them, I'm not going to lie. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've done them at all, so we'll see. But tiny houses are always fun to build because like you can do a build in a specific style, either exterior, interior, or both, and then you've done it and you can move on to a new tiny house and like try out some other styles. Like you get to try out a various amount of interior styles, you get to decorate in different ways and stuff. Yeah. Plus I also very much enjoy sitting down watching or looking at pictures on Pinterest of interiors in either studio apartments or tiny houses and see how they manage to fit in everything. It's so fascinating what you can do with such little space. I feel like personally I would go absolutely not healthy. It wouldn't work for me to live in a space that small. But I'm very fascinated that it does work for some people. I think it's just because I'm a bit of a hoarder at times. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Might as well. I'm a little bit of a hoarder at times. Like, I have a lot of clothes. I suck at throwing stuff out. And I just like having things. Not necessarily in a materialistic way, because they don't have to be, like, pricey things. I just like having my books, for example. I like having my clothes. And I like having my plants. I like taking care of them. So you can't really do that in a tiny house. It's very, very limited how many books and how many plants you can have in a tiny house. So I don't think for me it would work, but it's very fascinating to see what people do with those kinds of interiors. So I think that's one of the reasons that I enjoy building them so much in The Sims. But it has been a while since I've been focusing so much on San Sequoia. So it'll also be nice to like get some different surroundings while building, to be honest, because I've stared at this world for like 2 months by now. It's taken a while to get through the lots, but yes, just been busy. Sick as well, kind of sucks. There's been a lot going on, and now moving. It's like it's never ending. When can I just sit down and just do my thing, you know? Like when does it stop? I feel like it's not. It's probably at the second half of June. That's when it'll like cool down, calm down, and I can actually just live my life day to day like I usually do without being sick or anything. Hopefully. We'll see. I mean, not that I've only been sick, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a whole lot of stuff. Moving is also very hectic. Like, I have a couple coming over tomorrow that have to have a look at the apartment so they can possibly move in when I'm out. And I have not been warned or anything that they were coming over, not until this morning. So I suddenly have to hurry and clean everything, and that sucks because I'm not prepared. You know, I like to be prepared. Like, when am I gonna be able to thoroughly clean everything and also have time to work? Like, everything needs to just calm down so I need to shut everything out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole lot right now. But anyway, so it's actually nice sitting down and just being like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on this build completely now and then just forget that there's a whole lot going on outside of my office. I need more of that time. So, but anyway, I think we are done with the first house. So we've moved on to the second one. This one is supposed to be, well, we're going for a lot of blue and also white and gray. I will say the chairs that I chose for the garden that were supposed to be the chairs from this house. I did go for black instead of the gray. I just felt like the contrast between the blue and the black was a little bit better than the blue and the gray. I don't know, I just, in my head, it just looked better. So I decided to go for that. But they're definitely supposed to be owned by the couple living in this house. So it could also be like a couple on one side and then a single whatever on the other side. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I want theories and stories and input. That's what I want. So if you have any ideas, just like the slightest idea, let me know. When do you guys think the next EP is coming out as well? When did this one come out? I can't remember. Was it February? Was it March? I can't remember anymore because like the months of, I know that I was sick when it came out. The question is, was I sick due to me not sleeping well? Because I was sick for a while because of that, like 10 days. But then I was also like, I had a fever for 10 days as well. Like I was actually like sick. Like with a virus or something for like a week to 10 days as well at some point. So I can't remember. One was in February and the other one was in March, but I can't remember during which sickness the pack came out. Everything's just kind of blended together in my head. It's fine. That probably is very common when that sort of thing happens. This is so annoying as well because like usually I'm not sick. I just don't really get sick. And then it was so much all at once. It was very annoyed. Anyway, also because I'm like, I hate being sick because I'm bored. I don't want to lie in bed, but I also can't sit down and focus on anything. I can't read. I can't focus on TV. Falling asleep on the couch, you know, it's terrible. I hate it. I'm not going to spend the rest of the voiceover complaining about being sick 2 months ago, but absolutely hate it. It's so boring just lying in bed. You probably get what I mean. Yes, but so I can't remember when Growing Together came out, but it's probably a while ago by now, right? So, or at least it feels like a while ago. So when do you think the next one is coming out? Because I know we are covered with content for the next, both in May, but also June. I think we are due another couple of kits. I can't remember if it's 3 or if it's 1. I do not remember very well these days, as you probably noticed. So anyway, but yeah, when do you think? Because like a summer release would be optimal, but also actually it would be nice with a fall release because then the office is not going to be super warm when sitting inside trying to build as much as possible with a new pack, trying to explore everything, getting to know the pack and the stuff and everything. That's been a struggle living in this apartment because over the summer it gets like 30 degrees in here very, very quickly. So I'm excited to see how that's going to be in the new office. It's lighting wise a little bit different, so maybe that'll be a good change during the summer at least, and during the winter it'll probably be a little bit colder as well, but we'll see about that once we get to it, once we get to that season. We're not going to think about that now because we're not even through spring. But yeah, let me know what you think, and also what kind of theme they're going for, because I have no idea. I just still fear that the next one is going to be a futuristic pack, and I say that every time. Every time I talk about expansion packs, I mention the futuristic packs, and I don't want it. Okay, I don't want it. So whereas the other one had the like one table, I think I often it's okay. One thing at a time. So I often don't add family computers to my family homes. That is the thing. I'm not really sure why that is, but because I often don't actually give the adults any computers whatsoever, even though they're very handy for gameplay. So that's the thing. I apologize. I don't know why that is, but anyway. But both of these have their own family computers. One is a little bit like cramped together, and the other one, I love those frames. The frames been growing together. I'm sorry for not realizing that sizing them down was gonna ruin the whole snapping or picture snapping onto the frame. I don't know how to phrase that, but you get what I mean. I did not realize. If there's anything I do that messes up gameplay, let me know, because then I'll stop it instantly. Like, because it's not everything that you can play test when, like, if you have limited amount of time, for example, it's kind of limited what you can play test. So when it comes to like, because I only play with an adult sim when I play test, and it's mostly like rooting issues and stuff because those are the most common bugs that I have because I build with move objects on. So for toddler items, for example, I don't get to playtest them because I don't have a toddler. So if there's anything that you notice that I do that wouldn't work, please let me know, because then I'll stop doing it right away, because it's just because I don't realize. So I like the setup that they have though with the computer in here. Kind of have some fun with the frames and also adding a shelf, and I don't know. Also, I don't think I've used this bed swatch before, at least I can't recall. It's very blue, which is why I chose it for this house, but it's also the reason that I feel like I haven't used it for any other house, because it's very, very blue. The only thing that's not blue on this bed is you can see the sheet, the bed sheet, but everything else is blue, so it's a whole lot of blue. But for this house specifically, I felt like it fits, so we're making it a little bit funny in here, a little bit funky, adding a little bit of purple as well, just because I felt like it was getting, I don't know, a little bit too monochromatic. It's not monochrome, but yeah, there was missing something, and also it tied in well with the dresser over here, so just adding a little bit of purple as well. I don't know, at least it wasn't yellow this time. I know that I go for blue and yellow a lot, but we're mixing it up a little bit by adding some purple instead. I know, super creative, thinking out of the box, getting out of my comfort zone, all of that. So anyway, but yeah, I think because the last house that I did, the children's bedrooms were so big, I could fit in so many things, and they still had a lot of space to move around. It felt so small decorating these two children's rooms, like, because usually in the parents' bedroom, you basically just need like a bed, bedside tables, a dresser, a mirror, you know, then you're covered. But the children always, for me at least, when I decorate their bedrooms, whether it's like a child or a tiny human, I always add a lot of toys to their bedrooms. So when they're so small, all of a sudden, the rooms, it feels like everything is very cramped together, which normally I wouldn't really mind, because I like those kinds of rooms. I build a lot of tiny houses. We've already been through this. But because the last house that I built just had bigger bedrooms than I would usually do, they had so much space that I think it's just kind of like, it stuck with me a little bit that they had so much space, and these two bedrooms just suddenly felt so small. So I did my best to include everything that they could need, but yeah, you're free to add extra stuff around the houses, of course. Also, just change them up completely if you want to. I think I say that at basically every video, but you're free to change my houses as much as you want to. The only thing I ask of you is to not re-upload it. Unless you do like a reno, then it's okay. Like, that's completely okay. I would love to see that, actually. But this is not the most reno-friendly build anyway, so maybe not this one. But as for the yard, so we don't have a whole lot of space to play around with here. As you have probably noticed, it's not the biggest yard. I think it's just slightly smaller than the tiny houses themselves, and we have two households that have to share this garden together. I added so many flowers, and it was kind of like fun. You can't actually fully see it now that I look at the floor plan picture, but the blue house has a lot more like red and orange flowers, whereas the other one has white and pink. So I kind of tried to blend them together, just like straight down the middle, essentially. I don't know if you can really see it, but that I did. I just want to say, like, I did, okay. I really tried. So you might not notice it, but hopefully you notice it now that I've mentioned it, because that was a conscious decision, and it would suck if no one noticed. But anyway, so the gardening area was supposed to mainly be for the red house, but the 4 small plant pots are actually for the blue house. They don't really use them though, because they don't care about gardening as much as or I should call it yellow house instead. The blue house does not care as much about gardening as the yellow house does. And the blue house has just had guests over, which is why they've moved the red house's chairs and just like put them over in their half of the garden. So that's what that's about. I know that without an explanation, it doesn't make any sense. So if anybody clicked off of this video before me explaining it, or if you've had me mute it, that's on you. I'm just kidding. Feel free to mute me if you want. I understand it. I would mute me as well. It's all good. We're fine. We're good. You can't hear me anyway. But so that's what that's about. I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun with it, but without it getting in the way of gameplay. So also just ignore that one of the legs of the chairs is like sticking through the other one. Those are not stackable, just so you know. They're not. So I did my best though. But anyway, we are getting to the end of the video, so I'm gonna wrap up this voiceover now. If you guys like this build, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below, as well as in the pinned comment, where you can also find a link to my booktube channel. So if you like to read, definitely go check it out. But that is all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Wearing light shoes, walking down the shore, diving head first down to the ocean floor. Your dark brown eyes reflect fireflies, living bright nights, getting me high on life. It's a night to stay up late, things we have to do can't wait. We've got catching up to do. There's a glow about you. This is a perfect night to catch a cold. Turn the full length of the North Shore. Stay up for the sunrise, make a wish. There is no way we'll be forgetting this. We'll take a long walk till we start to freeze. Hearing small talk over the summer breeze. Out of safe zones, finding hidden caves. All the wet stones shaped by the ocean waves.